Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis, and with me is Ed the Pagan, and this is the 20th anniversary of Magick TV / Correllian TV as a YouTube channel. And welcome to our little talk on that. Hi, Ed.
How you doing? Yeah, actually, on February 28th, uh, 2006, 75 days after YouTube had started,
Mm-hmm.
we posted up the interactive grimoire,
Yep.
which was an online, our first online piece, uh, up there, and a number of others. Now, I
Yep.
think now let's be indicate people go, well, I thought it was in November 11th, 2005. Magic TV as a studio under and with Jason High Corral in the lead of as our high tech, we
Mm-hmm.
were an independent channel separate of YouTube.
Yes.
When that
Yeah,
would be
we pre-existed the YouTube channel.
being live, and that was a month and 4 days. So basically, uh, we were 100 days old when we published first on YouTube.
Yes.
So for the reason for us to go on YouTube and to do videos, from my point of view, was architecture. We were doing an
Mm-hmm.
online school, we were doing online communications, and I was following Don. And Don has really some great reasons for it. But for me, it was architecture. And we jumped over to YouTube because they beat us to the real punch. We were uploading videos and things of that nature. And Jason should have gone to work for YouTube right then. We should have sent his resume to YouTube right then.
Yeah.
Uh, But then we started here. So 75 days after YouTube started. So we're only a little bit younger than YouTube itself. And we're one of the oldest accounts, the first of its kind. Uh,
Absolutely.
and so I guess I'll ask you. So what was your original motivation to do to do this? Not YouTube per se, but the videos in general.
Well, I mean, I have a long-standing interest in video, and that of course was part of it. But the other thing had to do with that issue of accessibility that we often talk about. The first things that we did in video were largely instructional,
Hmm.
but they were video instruction you weren't going to get from any other source at that time, and they allowed a sense of personal connection beyond the written form that was in use otherwise. Early on, we started to do events and lifestyle pieces. Some of our earliest pieces were like a day in the life of Witch School.
Hmm.
Uh, we did the Living the Wiccan Life series, all of which was meant to help people feel connection and community. People who maybe were geographically isolated, maybe were socially isolated, they could have a sense of what it was to be physically in a pagan community. Uh,
Hmm.
as we started doing events, they could have a sense of what it was like to go to that event, even though maybe in their lifetime they'd never had the opportunity to do that. They could hear, when we did interviews, they could hear their favorite author. And at that time, not a lot of people were interviewing pagan authors in video format. They certainly weren't getting a lot of mainstream interviews, with the exception of a small handful. So for a lot of people, it might have been their only chance at that time to hear their author actually speak, or hear this person they were familiar with and get a sense of what they were like as a person.
Now, I want to indicate. So one of the things that people don't understand. So prior to this one, we have been doing videos for a lot of reasons. We had started Witch School. We
Mhm.
can keep going back, but the big thing we did. This isn't the first time we had already built a reputation as pioneers in mainstream
Mhm.
radio. We
Yeah.
were actually over the air terrestrial radio in the form of Psychic Chicago radio, and
Mhm.
then telepathic radio. That was our
Yeah.
90s adventures, along with our magazine, Psychic Chicago Round, and it became Roundtable.
Yeah.
And so in Chicago, authors and people had already experienced this idea of the importance of our own press. People
Yes.
don't. So from my point of view, Magic TV was the next step in continuing our fight for freedom of speech.
Mhm.
I mean, everything I've done architecturally is about increasing our ability to communicate. But for you,
that's yeah. I mean,
go ahead.
that's the other side of it. Controlling our own image, saying what we want to say, and not necessarily what some random mainstream program might want to show us as, which was a big concern for a lot of people at that time. We had done, we had done video presentations in Chicago at, for example, the Pagan leadership conferences and so forth. But we'd also taken part in a lot of programs. We had appeared on a number of programs, including the Christian Broadcasting Network.
We did.
Where we actually had a pleasant experience.
Mm-hmm.
We had done a number of news programs. And one of the things we were very aware of was how they can twist your message.
WGN Radio, WLS Radio, Chicago Tribune front pages. So yeah, we had over 400 news articles that we had helped create across every form of media in the 90s and the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And so
one of the things, well,
go ahead.
One of the things we used to talk about is, how do you interact with the media? How do you present yourself? How do you control the story? But doing our own media, we control the story. On a pagan channel, nobody was going to distort the message because it's us interviewing us. Pagan people interviewing pagan people. And we were almost very careful about that.
And today we still have the greatest, I think, really great reputation. But people were very hesitant at first. I mean, we can talk about some of the other fun things, but I wanted to lay out the foundation. When we started Witch School in 2001, nobody can teach online. Ha ha ha. Today and this is the 25th anniversary of Witch School.
Yes.
Right. And so then we needed to do video, and it's very difficult to do video. We saw it as the next wave. We did video. We saw it as very difficult to use it to incorporate teaching. And so we started looking at Magick TV, spent months trying to develop our own system. And when we developed our own system, something that would lock in there, that would be locked in over and over again. We didn't try to create it just for one voice, one group. People questioned that. We tried to create a platform. And so when YouTube came around, we jumped on it because it was the platform we needed. And we did the Negative Confessions. We did Living the Wicked Life. We've done lots of great things. We have a lot of people. We have 6,000 hours of video from that creation. But the big thing we wanted was Witch School. We wanted to bring you lessons that were more personal with video. Because we had the chat rooms and everything. Because people don't remember, we were early chat rooms. I mean, we just recently discussed, Don runs one of the longest running known, pagan cult, Don talk chat. And you can find out more.
Don's chat room.
ReverendDonLewis.com. You can just find out more there. So this is the next hurdle that we faced about for longevity, being 20 years on YouTube. And we have one of the most set count. Now it says, why don't you have millions and millions of viewers? Well, because we don't have the content that is for millions and millions of viewers. But we've had two rules that were really important. And we're grinders. We call this is a lifetime of work. And it's about it's gonna change again. It's about this is all really good and we're gonna see it again. But we believe in progress over perfection. Why we jumped on early, so we didn't have to be perfect. We didn't. We weren't. We didn't try. We tried to be the best we could. And the other one is persistence over popularity. We didn't chase popularity so much as being persistent.
Yeah.
I mean,
very often we would broadcast every single day.
Right.
And I don't know if people understand what a commitment that is. But it's a big commitment, and yet we spent years doing that.
We still do in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hmm. We do.
yeah, we nearly every day,
Hmm.
and we and it all ebbs and tides.
Yeah.
Now the difference is, I think Magic TV learned something. People don't remember the original model, and I actually had a trademark for a moment,
Yeah.
and they thought it was silly. And this is, remember, this is 2006, 2005, 2006. Magic is everywhere. So is TV.
Yeah. That was our motto. Of
Yeah,
course,
and
today
it was
people say, "What's TV?" But
right.
it was still a big deal then.
And what I meant was that we believe magic is everywhere, and so is TV. And this wasn't.
Uh,
This didn't come around for another 4 years,
No, no, that
right?
that did not exist then.
It was very prophetic that I believe screens were going to be everywhere, and today screens are everywhere. And
Yeah.
so Magic TV was about that background life. And I've been a fan of reality TV,
Hmm.
and I'm actually one of the big voices in reality TV marketing.
Hmm.
And Don's been kind of my experiment in reality TV a lot of times
Yes.
because he has a message to put out. So I think a lot of times people misunderstood my role for most of it. I'm an architect. I build strategies. I help people develop messages, and Magic TV really was one of those projects.
Hmm.
We did the news shows and things like that. But what made it really work was Jason and Don
Hmm.
and Virginia, and then the
Hmm.
very special people, Michael Farrell, which helped us a ton.
Yes.
He was the backup guy for that. So we had a real IT team. We had
Hmm.
Marianne, Marianne
Hmm.
Kay, who helps us with all sorts of different things and writings. And and believe it or not, she gave us one of the best things we could, which is more of a middle America perspective. Because
That's true.
we were
Well,
at
it's so important to be able to look at things from different points of view.
hmm
And Marianne was very good at pointing out things that we didn't always see.
hmm and so we're
Marianne was
really
very,
hmm and still is.
yeah.
Uh, uh, Lisa had already begun her process of moving on.
Hmm.
And so it was something that was Jason's. It got put into Jason. Lisa was
Hmm.
working on the school engine, and she made incredible intelligence. So
Oh yes,
we were very fortunate for that. And,
absolutely.
and we started out where we're only allowed 10 minutes. If you see a lot of the earlier stuff, we were allowed 10. We learned how to deal in
Yeah.
that 10-minute universe.
Yeah, it's like if you go back, well, last year I was reposting many of our early videos,
hmm
but one of those was Tarot 101, which is a whole tarot class in 10-minute increments because that's
hmm
all we could do, and it had to be a certain size. So it's not the high definition video that you would see today
Mm-mm.
because that technology didn't even exist then.
And we had to use it. We had to put it on film, which we still have.
Hmm.
We had to transfer it through film,
Yeah.
and it was all these features are amazing. I mean, we were on WGN radio, and then WGN radio one day um, put up a camera, a fully equipped
Hmm.
camera machine, a truck.
Yeah.
The truck. They just put it up as they do. I mean, what do you do when you have equipment? They were getting a new one. They want to sell the old one, and we asked about it. And they
Hmm.
treated us very seriously because we'd been on WGN and a couple of other places. And
Yeah.
we're beginning reputation. They said, and I had talked about the value of having our own truck to do our own news.
Yeah.
Uh, $195,000.
Yep. And now we got it all here.
Mm-hmm.
It's
So,
amazing when you think about it.
so everything we've been doing is predictive.
Hmm.
We we do predictive technology, and we get hit all the time for it. I mean, we're getting we do. I mean,
Oh
we
yeah.
were 75 days into YouTube is pretty fast.
Yes.
It should have been Llewellyn. It should have been any number of other,
Hmm.
businesses. But no, just us in the Midwest in a warehouse called the Gray Elephant.
Yes.
Um,
Well, we've always been at pains to be at the forefront of technology, and we've usually been doing it on fumes and holding it together with duct tape and hope. But we've done an awful lot that way. That other people with sometimes superior resources were not able to do. And we've seen a lot of people come and go during this 20 years, and we continue grinding on.
Right.
And sometimes we're rushing full speed with 20 programs airing every day, and sometimes we slow down a little bit and regroup and then come forward again. But we keep on going.
Because that's what a lot of this is. Magick TV. Now, what's happening in Magick TV? The archives. We're going to be rearranging the station. We're thinking we're going to turn it more subscribers and make it more viable. A lot of the shows, a lot of the videos we have are going to be put into archives and taken off mainstream air. We've already done that with Blog Talk Radio. There's no, we're going to start, because of AI, LLMs, and a lot of other reasons. We're very aware of it because we've been aware of every technological shift out there. We'll talk about other things. And Magick TV going onto YouTube was because we realized how expensive it was going to be.
Yep.
To maintain our own system. And that we couldn't really expand it without getting. Now, we're up against Champagne unless we dedicated ourselves fully 100% into developing a TV channel. YouTube did something. And here's what all of these magical websites that come up. And YouTube was harassed terribly when it started. It was a plagiarizing machine, stealing videos and shows. Oh, I remember people were so mad about the fact that people were stealing cross videos from everywhere.
Yep.
And ABC, NBC, the studios, all were yelling at them.
Yeah.
They were going to be sued out of existence.
It was the wild, wild west.
Yeah. And yet, one of the things it gave us was the ability to focus back on our mission and bring it into it. So let's talk about some of those things that have been really valuable. I think one of the most valuable pieces of video we've ever taken was the 1 year we went to PantheaCon.
Oh,
because for me, it was broken because, what I did to put the pressure on everybody broke it. And it was mean. I did something that was very, very, very risky. We'll talk about that another time, I think, that people want to hear it. But Don and Deb went to PantheaCon, and they were allowed to film. The first actual people who were allowed to film officially and broadcast with PantheaCon, a major, major event.
Yeah, it was kind of an epochal moment, and we got some wonderful interviews that you can still go see on our channel.
And that broke the trust within it, and so we would be doing more. The other one that we would break, and it wasn't quite so dramatic, but it was unique, was St. Louis Pagan Picnic.
Yes. And
we have a lot of those.
Oh, we went every year to St. Louis Pagan Picnic for 20 years?
Approximately, yeah.
Certainly many, many years. And we have all kinds of interviews and footage from those different picnics. And we were talking before we came on, one of the things we wanted to do for people, because so many people, even now, are geographically isolated. They don't have the chance to go to these events. They don't have the chance to meet these authors. We wanted to give them that experience. And we did it by going out and filming it and sharing it. We went to the St. Louis Pagan Picnic. We went to the Fellowship of Isis Mystery Conventions in Chicago. We went to
Parliament of the World's Religions.
We went to the Parliament of the World's Religions, something that at various points, many people in our community didn't even realize was happening,
Mm-hmm.
and yet vitally important. And we brought them video of panels that were happening, interviews with people. In some cases, people they would never have a chance to meet in ordinary life. And I think that was a valuable service. And you said something really important I want to take a moment and focus on, and that is we never did this for one voice. We tried to let everyone have their voice. We come from a particular tradition. We come from a particular background, not exactly the same background, but we have a lot in common. We never limited our station to our background. I mean, we interviewed people from all different backgrounds. And I think that's a very important thing to stand on.
Mm-hmm. Well, you would see it in our later works that would be established, but
Mm-hmm.
we never censored,
No,
uh, that sort of thing. There were people ask, "Well, did you interview?" And we interviewed almost anybody who would let us.
very much so.
There are people, so we learned something else. So we're going to let you know on an insider thing. No matter how much you hated us, you could hate us because we were doing things, and we were doing things to really expose the community to the world.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of thing. And they wanted it, but not everybody did. There's a lot of anti that. And the thing is that the minute we turned the camera to them, once they got comfortable knowing that we were going to project them into the world, uh, right? They were going to project their
Yeah.
image into the world. They go, "Oh, yeah, we love to have you." To this day, I get pictures with people I know despise me. Oh, can I get a
Yeah.
picture with you? Can I get an interview with you?
Well, if you look at all of our interviews over all those years, you will see people I interviewed, people Edward interviewed that we love, that we admire, that we were close to. You'll also see people who despised us and who we despised, but you will not be able to tell which one is which because we never let that interfere in what we were doing.
Mm-mm.
We never acted as an attack station, for want of a better way
No,
to put it. We were always about building whatever we dealt with.
probably the most controversial in that aspect was which city soap, because
Well,
we were documenting a Salem witch war.
well, that's true.
It was probably the most controversial that we've done. But even there, we did it live. We weren't making up the story. We
Yeah,
weren't we weren't creating something. We weren't creating a drama. We
no,
were living.
we were
We were
just
but
there.
and we were living it. So even there, which we did do some controversial questions. We still have probably the most controversial. I wanted to get into it, but which city soap for? Probably the very most controversial piece where I read a death threat against me on air.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that set off everything. Um, but again, it was real things. There
Hmm.
were real stories. And we preserved. So the next thing we would do, we would preserve a lot of elders. We have Oberon Zells.
Yeah.
We have
Morning Glory Zone.
Morning Glory Zell. We have um, all sorts of people. A little bit of
Hmm.
Isaac
Olivia
Bonowitz,
Robertson.
Phaedra, and we have Patrick McCollum in his early days.
Hmm.
We have Phyllis Crott. We have more than a couple thousand interviews. So we've been
Yeah,
doing
and
this.
many of the people in those interviews are now among the ancestors.
Right. And so we have them. I think we got two more pieces, and I think let me go ahead and start. Then one of the biggest things we did for our tradition, and this is for the Correllian tradition,
Hmm.
is the illustrations.
Yes.
We use that power of Magick TV, and we would use it, and so would we later with Zoom and Correllian broadcasting system. Would be the illustrations and the rite of rituals.
Hmm.
The early days, we filmed them, we'd go out to
Yeah.
them and film them, and they would eventually move online to become interactive global events.
Yes.
And there's a direct line for us starting to film the first ones. Was it Kankakee? I think it was the first one.
No,
Or was it
Danville.
Danville? The first one
Yeah,
from Danville.
it was Pure Sanctuary Temple at the Awakenings building in Danville.
And so we've been doing this for our tradition. This made it possible. And we still, to this day, put illustrations on the Correllian
Yeah.
TV / Magick TV studio.
And the next one will be the weekend of April 17th to 19th.
Mm-hmm. And now we have full, it'll be another filmed live. It'll be another that sort of idea of it.
And we have had such interesting adventures filming things live.
Mm-hmm.
So in fact, even today, we had a bit of an adventure. There's a reason we started 15 minutes late, because the equipment suddenly decided to act up. But, even in this day and age, that still happens.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I very strongly remember, the first time we tried live streaming, seriously, was 2010, I think it was.
Yeah.
The Salem Witches Ball. And to do this, we had so much equipment, we needed a tea tray to wheel it around the venue. And we were able to live stream a little bit, but the technology wasn't quite there yet.
No, that was from an event moving. We had done some live streaming and continued for a while through the Witches Museum.
Oh, yes.
I mean, so we were, before YouTube, live streaming.
Yeah.
And during this period of live streaming, because YouTube didn't do live streaming. So we watched all these advances.
Mm-hmm.
We've watched them all. And so we come today, we're going to be filming more illustration. We're still putting up more events. We're putting up this. We use a restreamer, which we've used over the years. We've always been pretty edgy on this. So let's talk about the next step.
Yes.
We're going to start looking at a more serious Magick TV. And there's we're looking at joining those various subscription services. Possibility of cleaning it up. But the other thing we're doing, along with our Pagans Tonight radio, our deep archives of photographs, interviews you've never seen, we have trapped on a medium we're still trying to figure out how to get it off of. One of the last Ray Buckland interviews. Before that, we have interviews, all sorts of things. And these are going to be put into our great Pagan library. We're going to preserve it. I kind of vowed that we're not going to lose these things. A lot of people lost their shows when Blog Talk Radio shut down. We've lost records because a Yahoo groups broke down.
Yeah.
So we've been very serious about that. So what's next for Magick TV? Well, the archives are going to go ahead and be cleaned up and organized. And I think they have a great deal of value as research, because that's the other thing we realized. I come from a fairly short-lived family. I've already outlived a lot of people. I plan to outlive them a lot longer. I have a good chance in the future. But I came from a perception of a fairly short lifestyle. I didn't have my grandparents were gone by the time I was a teenager. I started out pretty big, but we lost everybody so fast. I lost my dad by the time I was 18. So we came very quickly that how are we going to discern for the next generation? And that's where all of this came from. 25 years of Witch School, all those magazines, which we're going to be making available, all of that sort of thing. And then when we got to YouTube, and I'm very glad it lasted, we have the chance to keep building. We don't have to pay for all the broadcasting systems, the distribution. And even that's changing. We're the leaders in social broadcasting.
Yeah.
And Don is one of the most known pagans in the world. You are.
Yeah. Whenever they want to run a scurrilous story, they use my photo.
And why is that? That's a story.
Years ago, I posed for I and a group of of our friends posed for a series of photos for, I believe, Getty Images.
It was our temple in Hubston.
Yeah, myself, Lady Crystal, Lady Virginia, and a few other people, and we spent a day posing for them for for images they would use in things like news stories,
Mm-hmm.
and they still do.
They paid us $0.
Yeah,
Uh, didn't even give us a copy of our own photographs.
no,
Yeah, Getty's. But was it worth doing?
yes,
I mean, that one picture with you three with the hands up is the most. I mean, just recently we saw it again when someone was talking about casting spells and they were using your image. And
yeah,
one of our people go like, "No, we don't believe it. Here's Don's log."
yeah,
And so now, so the idea of the Great Pagan Library, we're going to be putting storage and everything else. So let's talk about the next little piece in the line.
hmm
AI. You
hmm
know, we're going to be involved with that too because we've been involved with every single one. When we
hmm
were involved with YouTube, it was called a plagiarizing machine that was stealing everybody, and along with, of course, not Netflix, Napster.
hmm yes,
Oh, Napster. Then Apple solved the problem.
hmm
YouTube went to court and started doing things and started preserving properly.
yeah,
So, a lot of ways, AI, we've seen this sort of thing before. With Blog Talk Radio is
hmm
ours too. I mean, we'll talk more about that because that anniversary is coming up.
yes.
So people are asking. So people have asked, "Are we retired?" Don is retired from the tradition.
I'm
There's
retired from several particular offices.
right. I'm not retired. Let's be honest, and it'll come up in the next anniversary. But I resigned over with some of the things, and then people softened it, as we do in the political pagan world, to being retired. Hmm? But I'm not retired. I'm still as active as I ever was,
Mm,
and I just have different scopes now. And what the big scope is, the Great Pagan Library, to eventually, because unless we preserve our knowledge, we don't have a future, and that's
and-
always been the movement.
yes. And we want to say hello to to Jan in the chat room. And Jan says that she has some pagan patches that she would like to donate to the library if we would like them, in
Of course.
addition to this. And
So
yeah,
So let's use the library as the old world fashioned idea. The original libraries weren't just books
hmm
and scrolls and things of that, just textual material. It was art, it was imagery. And the great Library of Alexandria even brought in inventions. And
hmm
people can borrow your invention and improve upon it. And they were supposed to bring yours back and then bring back the improvement.
yeah,
Uh, so the idea of a library of things. I mean, for me, library is a lifestyle. It'll be when we build in Danville, it'll be a lifestyle. It'll be what I'll do for the rest of my life is building a library because building a library is building a university. University is the longest structure. We can't let them take our knowledge from us. We'll build all sorts of structures. But this is important. I mean, so one of the earliest phrases I coined into the world that people still use to this day was learn anything, anywhere, anytime. The law movement. It's kind of got buried in the architecture,
hmm
but there's never been a point that I didn't say to the world 35 years ago that the internet, which was around starting 93, 94, the World Wide Web, was going to be able to provide us with the dream life. And the dream of my life was to be able to learn anything, anywhere, anytime I wanted.
yeah,
That's true freedom. There's nothing more free than that. Um, and Don has had this spiritual message that I think is very important that makes it important. And that is that Mother Nature and our faith is a living faith, not
Hmm.
a dead end faith. Hmm? We don't,
Absolutely.
you know, for me, a lot of the religions' final end to save us is the burning of piles of books to make us as ignorant as anything, so that we are as pliable as anything. I mean, I'm simply, that. Don't let them learn. Right now, we're going through another phase of it. Magic TV has been our lifelong endurance to protect as much information as we can, as much knowledge as we can. And today we celebrate 20 years, and we thank YouTube.
Yes.
We are so grateful to YouTube for this
Thank you,
and for
YouTube.
remaining. And so we're going to be doing changes. We're going to continue building this. We're going to work on the great library. We're going to be, work on YouTube. So let me go offer one last question. There are some other shows we've done. You should pay attention. If you like festivals, the Endless Summer with Mike Neal. Endless
Neil Goodman.
Summer was Neil Goodman, who just celebrated a birthday.
Yes.
Out there in the world. We have all sorts of great shows. I'm trying to remember them all. We have Tea Time. We have some of the earliest shows out there that went on to be independent shows. Circle Sanctuary shows. We have filming all sorts of festivals. I mean,
Hmm.
Starwood. Um, oh, suddenly I'm just blanking on the fact that we've had so many
Well, we
shows.
have, and some of our longest running shows include Living the Wiccan Life
Mm-hmm.
from Don's Vlog, which went for a solid 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we've had lots and lots of shows. We have Tarot Thursday
Mm-hmm.
that is currently every Thursday. We
Mm-hmm.
have the Pagan show. We have lots of shows, and
Absolutely.
we will probably be airing more as this year goes forward.
Oh, sure. I plan to do a lot more interviews, and we're doing it.
Yeah,
So, but we want to acknowledge YouTube. We want to acknowledge all these people are involved.
yeah.
Uh,
We've
we,
had lots of fascinating people involved behind the cameras and in front of the cameras, and we mentioned Jason Highcorrell. We mentioned Virginia Powell, Katrina Kessler,
oh
Danielle
yeah.
Young, Lori Blackman,
Hmm.
lots and lots of very talented people. Mary Hawk, just lots and lots of people have contributed their energy to this journey.
Yeah, we have
More
Phoenix
will.
Williams,
Yeah,
who just
Phoenix
told us
and William.
prior. Um, you have Lady Alyssa doing sabbats, and still, we're
Hmm.
still doing active sabbats and rituals
Oh yeah,
online.
yeah.
So we're
Everything's about.
so
We are
this
there.
is not so this is not a story of, oh yeah, they did 20 years and now that they're fossils. It's about we're still 20 years. We still bring in progress over perfection, and
Mhm.
believe in persistence over popularity.
Yeah,
You know, we might not be the most we might be one of the oldest channels. We might not be one of the most exciting channels, but your great grandchildren will know about you if you're interviewed with us. They will
yeah,
know and be able to make contact.
yeah.
And
We will
that
still be.
so I give you the last word, Don.
Well, for the last word, I want to thank all the people who have watched Magic TV and Correllian TV over all these years. We've talked about the people who made it, but the people who have been watching and supporting it are just as important
Hmm.
um, in the survival of the channel. So we thank those people too, and we will continue to bring you interesting programs that other people perhaps won't. And I hope that you'll stay with us for that. And if you stay with us today, starting at 2 p.m. Central, we have the retrospective Adventures in Pagan Media, which will talk about some of these same subjects in perhaps a little greater detail. But we want to thank you for joining us. And 20 years is a long time. And what an adventure it has been. So thank you, Ed. Thank you, everyone. And we will talk to you again soon. And until next time, may you blessed be.